I bet you can't even relate to 99% of people anymore. Because that's what happens. You get onto self improvement, you commit yourself to the good habits, you realize just how destructive the bad habits are. And you want to meet other people who are on this path. So you take the advice of everyone else, it's social skills, and you go to the gym and you try and fist bump some of the guys there. But you realize that even guys who are in the gym are not actually disciplined or ambitious in most of the other areas of life. The guy in the gym still vapes and watches porn. Even guys in the military still play video games. Guys who you might see in school or in work, they'll never consider something like meditation. They all go out and drink, and you're finding it hard to meet guys who are actually on the same wavelength as you, who share the same kind of values as you. Self improvement undoubtedly makes your life better, we know this, but it also increases your standards for the kind of people that you want around you. The saddest part of this journey is when you get really serious on this and you really commit yourself to the good habits and you really distance yourself from the bad habits, you stop being able to relate to basically everyone in your real life. Your old friends, the ones who are losers, who play video games and just indulge. If you're honest, you actually have such little respect for them. You still have some kind of appreciation, some kind of loyalty to them because of how long you were friends for, maybe in high school. But you have very little respect for those guys. They're not guys that you would ever consider are like inspiring, that you'd want to be more like. If someone said you're a lot like one of your friends, you'd probably take it as a bit of an insult, which shows that you're not with the right people. It gets more lonely when we even talk about your family. Even your family don't even understand the path that you're on. It's sad. It is fucking heartbreaking to even see your family deteriorating instead of improving their lives. You've learned so much in the last couple of months, last couple of years since you got serious on self-improvement. You try and teach some of this to your family, to your friends, and it goes in one ear, out the other. In fact, they actually can be aggressive and angry towards you. You learned that foods like, for example, eggs can increase your testosterone and they're nutritionist foods. And you might have your mother like shouting at you if you're trying to eat more than 2 eggs a day. You might have your friends laughing at you because you go to the gym and maybe you want to post a shirtless picture. It's brutal when you're seen as like a bit of the weirdo loser freak for being the guy who's improving his life. Like, think about that. You're deemed as like a low tier person by, no offense, but the normies, the Jeffreys. That's why I made Adonis School, which is my self-improvement community for guys who got onto this path, who are serious about improving their lives, who are ambitious young men, but have found that there's basically no one in real life that is actually on this path. There might be some guy you meet in the gym and it's nice to do some workouts with him, but outside of the gym, he's still like an unambitious loser. I made this community for guys like me and for guys like you and for guys who are watching this type of content because it's so hard to meet other guys who are actually on this path who could genuinely respect and grow alongside. It's linked in the description if you want to have a look. I mention it like literally all the times, and for the last like few months I've really been trying to get clear on the angle that I'm going for in this community, and I've finally gotten it, which was, we're trying to make this sort of not, I wouldn't even say advanced, but this serious self-improvement community for guys who are the kind of people who watch content like this, who are leveling up in life, who, for example, don't want to be degenerates, they want to meditate, they want to go to the gym, they also want to look after like their joints and their physical health and mental health. They also maybe want to try and make money online and attract a beautiful girl and not be like a degenerate who's just watching porn or engaging in casual sex. And it's so hard to find someone who has all these different kinds of values overlapping. Like, you could meet a guy in the gym who's in the gym, okay, awesome, but then he's a degenerate who wants to go out and drink afterwards, and you're like, okay, that's not for me. You can meet some girl and it's really sweet that she's like beautiful, but then she scrolls and she spends hours consuming on social media. You're like, okay, that's not for me. It's very hard to meet your people because you are a very, like, I'm not trying to like just fucking what's the word that the young guys use, like spit on your dick, or I'm not trying to like glaze or whatever it is, but you're quite a unique person for watching content like this. I'm saying that as a compliment, but I also, my heart goes out to you because I know how lonely this path can get. You might have people around you. You might have your family that you can have a bit of a conversation with. You might have your old friends from high school that you still sometimes speak to. But if you're honest, you actually have basically no one on this path who genuinely is like you, other than me. And you just watch these videos of me. Like, that's a bit crazy when your like best relationship, your best social connection is like this parasocial relationship with this mass produced video that I make, and I'm the biggest person that you relate to, no one that you've actually spoken. And I'll never lie to you, I don't even know that you exist right now. I'm staring at my camera, right? All these other influencers will lie to you and say like, oh, and I love you so much and all this gay shit like that. I'll never lie to you. I don't fucking know you. I could if you start like showing your face in the community. Of course I could. But this is the problem, is like, there's no one in your life. You don't relate to 99% of people. That's why I spent the last 2 years creating the self-improvement community to bring together guys like you, guys like me, because we all share like 80% of the same values. 80% we have the same kind of goals, very similar personality, very similar desires, very similar relatable backstories. Like, you probably relate to a lot of the stories that I've told. But the 20% in which we don't overlap, like I'd say we probably overlap about 80%. The 20% that me and the community members and you don't overlap is actually where our unique individual differences can benefit, because we have unique perspectives. So it's like the best case scenario. So inside of this community that I made, there's over 600 guys who are like us, who are like you, who are on this path, who are serious and ambitious. And when you join, and you finally have guys who actually value you by the same metrics that you value yourself. Like, before you join Adonis School, this community, people think you're like a freak for the things you're doing. Like, they deem you as like a low tier person. The more you go to the gym, the more eggs you eat and you're eating clean, if you're not eating the same processed food as them, and if you're not indulging in being a degenerate and scrolling, if you don't have social media, people think you're a bad person, like a low tier person for this. Inside this community, well, we think you're a higher tier person. You join, and for the first time ever, you're realizing people actually respect you more because you're on self-improvement and because you're actually pushing hard in this. Like, just think about how much of a difference that's going to make in your satisfaction of life, even maybe your testosterone levels, when you instantly join a community where you're actually celebrated for the goals and ambitions and interests that you have, rather than in real life where you don't have that. That's why, like, I feel like this is the single best thing that I could offer as like a paid product. Instead of just offering like a course like most other people, or an NFT or some gay shit like that, I've just decided to create like this more exclusive network, this community, this brotherhood of guys like us. When you see this video go live, by the way, I'm gonna post it into the community and tell the community members to comment on it, so you can scroll down and read some of the comments as I speak to you. And these guys who are commenting, saying they're inside of Adonis School and here's their experience, I give you my 100% promise, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal for me to lie here. I give you my promise that they are not being paid or given anything to write these comments. They're simply going to write these comments to basically encourage you to join and tell their experience of the community, because we just want more good guys to join. We want our community to thrive. We want other guys who are serious on this path of self-improvement to join, because there's something that you've probably made a bit of progress in where someone else inside of our community hasn't. And if you come in and you've got the confidence to give him some advice and to help him out, we benefit. The community gets better when someone like you joins. But also you join, and there's guys who have made progress in areas of life that you might struggle with. Like, if you find yourself relapsing every like 3 to 5 days, like, you have a really good streak, really good period of like really good habits, and then you have this one random day where you just keep on fucking relapsing like 5 times in that one day. If that's what you're going through, there's guys who have been through the exact thing. Like, think about it. How did I give such a perfect example of what you're going through? Because there's guys, including me, who have been through that exact thing, who have now leveled up past that, and who can literally sit down with you and walk you through the process on overcoming that. That's why like a brotherhood is so powerful. Like if you imagine back in the caveman days, the brotherhood, the community was everything. If you wanted to be a hunter, you'd go out hunting with the master hunter who would teach you how to walk, how to fucking, I don't know, throw the spear, or how to run for 20 kilometers to chase down the boar. You got to learn from someone who is better than you. And in some time, when you've become good, you teach the person who needs to learn from you as well. And it's such a wholesome experience. So have a look at some of the comments below. And I just want to walk you through now like my vision for this in the future. As you know, the pain that we're going through is that we are serious on self-improvements. That doesn't mean that you're advanced on self-improvement. Like for example, don't do any bad habits or anything like that. All of us do some bullshit that we could still level up. But it's just that you are serious, like you're committed to this path. Like you know what's right and what's wrong. And you're not trying to be like, you're not trying to like live life like how you used to, like a normal person where you'd kind of ignore the destructive habits. You are serious in this. This is a pretty big part of your identity now, being a guy who's on self-improvement, who goes to the gym, for example. This is like all of who you are. This is like the new version of you. Of course, the problem is there's no one who you can totally relate to. There's no one who you genuinely feel like you can grow with. So my vision for this community that I made, which I want you to join, is that when you join, you get instant access to the hundreds of guys who are just like you. You get also the trainings, the support, which is literally so easy. Then like we basically teach you, if you need it, to socialize and how to actually make friends and engage in the community and everything. We have a community forums where you can go in every day online and you can basically interact with each other like using text, asking questions, asking for advice, speaking your mind, telling your story. You'll see other posts from other guys, which you can then, get to know them and see what they're going through. And it's quite an educational platform. But then we have live calls, community calls that happen every day. I do calls myself, so you can hop on a big group call, get to know each other like on video calls. And then we also have a bunch of in-person events, which are led by the community members and also by me, like all around the world. We have guys who are in like the UK saying like, oh, like who could come to London next week? Let's go meet up in London, let's do a workout, let's go to a restaurant. And this, it almost feels like a bit scary, like a bit unrealistic for you to like do a meetup with someone. But we see guys who are commenting thinking like, wait, I could come, like that's crazy for me. Like, it feels like a bit dangerous, like meeting people from the internet. But you're like, fuck it, I actually could. And like, I've been speaking to this guy on these calls or on the community forum page for like weeks, definitely like a stand-up guy. And we see like these happy like selfies, like these guys have just met up in person, they're doing a hike together or a workout. And I always see the same comment from the guy saying like, that was probably one of the best days of my entire life. Where they've met up someone and they're like, holy shit, I've met someone who has the same goals as me. They end up doing calls together every day. They've got like a little group chat together. They'll come and do events, like bigger ones, and invite more people. I do them myself. I've literally taken over 100 of our guys up mountains together in England, in Scotland. I've done workouts on rooftops in Bali. We've done like exclusive like business seminars in Amsterdam, and we've like wrestled each other in the mud in like the fields of London and Amsterdam and stuff. And I've had like I'll have some guys who are stand-up like businessmen and like entrepreneurs, jacked guys. I had this one guy who was like a jacked boxer who's an entrepreneur, awesome guy. And after this event where basically we just worked out in a park together, but it was, it's like, imagine 50 of us shirtless, shouting, wrestling each other and just doing silly shit like that, doing sprints and races and whatever. He came up to me and he went like, I think that's one of the best days of my life. And the same guy, I've heard him say this now to other people, saying like that was one of like the best moments of like last year, like when it happened. And this wasn't, like I want to make this clear, this isn't a sort of community filled with what we can say is like Hamza fanboys. This is guys who are more serious, more mature in their community. Because the price is fairly a bit of an investment. The guys are a bit more serious and a bit older, a bit more mature. We still actually have a couple of guys who are super young, 13, 14, and we have guys in their 30s. I think we even have a guy in his 40s, or like 2-3 guys in their 40s. But the average age is about 18 to 25. And so it's a bit more of like, a bit more serious. Not in the sense that we're like dry and cold, because we still have like banter and funny conversations and stuff like that. But it's a bit more for the guys who are like, they're serious on this journey. They're ambitious, which is probably the exact same as you. And so my vision is that we We keep up this vibrant online connection that we have. But what I've been hyping up to the boys is the more guys that we can get to join, and especially if we can help them to level up their finances particularly, we can start to travel together. There's guys who are organizing living together, and I think that's just incredible. Of course, that's like, this is in the future. You probably wouldn't just jump right in this. Maybe you would, right? But for a lot of guys, maybe you'll join and you'll kind of take things a bit slow first. But there's guys who are literally planning to live together, like they've bought the apartment, the house and stuff, and there's houses around the world popping up, what we call Adonis House, where a group of guys are going to Colombia to live with each other, a group of guys are going to do it in some part of the US, a group of guys are going to do it in Bali, and it's just incredible to think like guys are going to live with each other, become super close, super great friends because of something like this. The ultimate dream is that we just get this like roaming band of our community members just going wherever we feel like together. Imagine 20, 50, 100 of us. Like I'm right now pushing guys to come to Bali because I'm here and I'm gonna have my first kickboxing fight in a month. So I'm telling guys like, yeah, come here like for that month. And we've already got 10, 20 guys who have bought their tickets and everything. Like I said, this isn't something that you'd want to jump, that you need to jump right into. You might not be able to travel or something right now, which is fine. But it gives you a bit of a dream when you're seeing guys take this action step. You're like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Like, I need to lock in, make some money just like these guys have. They're all like, living with Hamza. They're all going wherever he is, either traveling around the world together. Those two guys are living with each other. Those guys have met up. And if you're not going to do the in-person stuff, because some guys don't, by the way, some guys will join and like, for example, they're in the military, so they're not going to go randomly travel or anything. But it's still awesome for them to have a community of guys that they can relate to. And it gives them a vision where they're like, oh yeah, like, when I get my leave or whatever, when I have like a month off or whatever, I'll actually go join the next trip, the next event, the meetup and everything that we've got. So it just gives you something to look forward to. What I say to the boys is, you're gonna travel and go on a holiday at some point. You may as well just go and meet the guys who you've actually connected with. Like, if there's a reason to travel and take a holiday, if there's one reason, it may as well be because you've got a fucking good friend that you've been speaking to almost every day who lives in a particular country, right? If there's one reason to travel, like, that's a fucking awesome reason to travel. So it just gives you something to like look forward to. It gives you this wholesome boost to your own self-improvement, because undoubtedly you'll make faster progress to your goals when you're in a community of guys who've got similar goals, who are pushing each other, who've got super high expectations of each other. And if I'm just being honest, it's a little bit of a softer thing. It's just more fun. Like, honestly, self-improvement, like, it's an awesome thing, and it can certainly feel enjoyable and fulfilling. But one of the questions you might have on this journey is like, when do I get to have fun? Like, I've cut out all of the bad habits. I used to play video games with my group of friends and we'd laugh and shout. I used to, I don't know, some guys go out drinking and enjoy themselves there. You cut out like all those things on this journey to be like this super healthy, disciplined guy. And you can often ask yourself like, yeah, like I've definitely made the right decision, but fuck me, man. Like, when do I get to like have that same kind of fun again? And the way to have that same banter, that kind of fun that we used to have in our previous lives is with this. It's with guys. It's just with like a group of guys, a brotherhood, a community, alongside the goals. Because we had that sort of brotherhood, fun, banter, but alongside bad habits with the video games and the nights out, degeneracy, whatever your vice was, and you used to have friends who would do the same thing. Now you can have friends who are doing the same thing, like the good habits, like the gym, traveling, leveling up businesses, those kinds of things. And you'll have that same kind of banter, the jokes, the laughs, but with something that isn't destructive. There's something that's actually good for you. So that's an important part that I really want to push forward for you, is like, this is not just a productive thing that you're going to do just to level up in your goals faster, although that will absolutely happen. But it's also like a treat to yourself to think, you know what, fuck it. Like, bro, if I'm spending money on this and it just makes my life more enjoyable, like, there's not a lot of things I do now which are genuinely just enjoyable and fun for me. If I invest into that, it would be nice to have more fun, more banter, group chat, and like funny conversations with the boys, with guys I actually respect who've got similar goals to me. It'd just be nice, it'd be fun to have that in our lives. And that's why I just think this place is like, it's such a like a godsend. It's such a great community, great group of guys. It keeps improving constantly. So I've linked it in the description, and I highly urge you click on the link and just go check out the details. There's no pressure, but if you read out the details and you're getting excited for it, I would urge you to just give it a try, because we've got guys who will come in and they'll be like, oh yeah, I was thinking about this for 3 months or 6 months, but I kept on delaying it. And after a week or so, I always hear them say the same thing, which is like, I wish I just gave it a try earlier, because the last 6 months was so hard, and being around the boys would have actually helped with that. If it's affordable for you, then by all means, bro. And you know, you're always going to be a little bit uncertain, right? You'll never be 100% sure with like these sort of online purchases. I get that, because there are many kind of like scams and shitty products out there and everything. But you may as well just fucking give it a try if it is available for you, and just fucking join and just see. So all the details are linked below. Just go have a read of that page. I hope to see you in there. If you do join, write a post, you know, like a welcome post. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, tell us your story, because it's just awesome to see new faces in there, especially the guys who put in the effort to show up to some of the calls or engage in the community, to show up to the real life events that I host myself, that the other students host. You might even want to host one yourself, because it's like an active leadership, and it just gives you the place to meet guys that you actually respect, who you genuinely would want to be friends with. And I think it's such a wholesome thing that I'm offering here. So I hope that it interests you. You can click on the link. In fact, I just want to give you a analogy which justifies the price that I charge for this, because I've seen someone, you know, like those, no offense, but like the younger kids, and they'll see this and they'll be like, oh, but why is it so expensive? It should just be for free. And I'm sure that if you're a bit more mature, you know why something like this shouldn't be for free, but this is just in case you're wondering, like, yeah, why is it not cheaper if you really wanted to help people? Because this is the analogy I think is so powerful. How much is your gym? Let's say it's like $20, and it's like a pretty decent gym, I would assume, right? Let's say your gym is $20 a month, and it's okay. If I said to you, like, would you like your gym to be $1 a month? Or let's say, would you like your gym to be free? You'd probably say yes. You would be thinking, oh, I'd save $20 a month. That'd be awesome. Yes, Hamza, make my gym for free. I want you to visualize the inside of your gym right now. Visualize the people that you often see in there. Now click your fingers and imagine if the gym was free entry. Imagine if there was just an open door. It's free, you can just walk in. Now I want you to visualize how the equipment looks. The mirror is cracked, and since it's for free, they can't afford to replace it. Remember the people who used to go there, they don't go there anymore because they were actually happy to pay $20 a month. What people are in there now that it's free? Can you visualize them in your mind? Would you feel safe next to the kind of people who come in here for free? They're just dropping the weight. They're not going to put it back. And since it's for free, there's no staff who can come over and put the weight back. One of the machines, let's say you go on the leg extension or the leg curl machine, and the machine randomly like fucking jolts, and the sort of machine, the part that moves, is super loose, like there's no weight, no resistance. You don't get an injury from it, but the machine is basically broken, and you know that someone needs to like fix it. But they can't anymore because it's a free gym. They don't make profit. You come into the gym the next leg day and that machine is still broken. I want you to just visualize and really feel and smell this. Walk into the toilet of this free gym. There's pubes on the toilet seat. There's yellow piss on the toilet seat. Because the type of people who would come into this free gym don't give a fuck about it. And since it's a free gym, they can't afford a cleaner, right? Because it's free. So do you see that free gym? Now if I ask you, hey bro, would you pay $20 a month to get away from this shitty pube seat gym to go to one which is actually fairly clean and decent and the machines get fixed? You'd say, well, yeah, sure, 100%. Like the free gym was awful, right? So suddenly you're thinking, oh shit, like there's actually a good reason for something to be more expensive. Now I want you, maybe it's unaffordable, but I want you to think about a gym that, let's say it's crazy. $2,000 a month. $2,000. What does that gym look like? $2,000 Who's inside of there? Are they professional football players? Some role model that you've known? Some fucking guy who's like multi-millionaire? All these older guys who still look sharp and all their wives and girlfriends are like 25 years old and they're all like 50 years old. They're wearing fancy watches. Any guy you speak in here is worth like $1 million or something like that. Super successful guys, super clean, amazing equipment. Imagine this gym in your mind right now. You probably see something luxurious where there's like a fancy restaurant, there's a pool, multiple saunas, it's like beautiful, it's like high class. What's the cars outside? Like they're fancy cars, nice people, very well trained staff. Now, $2K a month is pretty crazy for a gym, but would you say that that's like a scam? Not really, it's just for a certain kind of person. And if you were a super, super rich guy, you'd probably want to go to that kind of gym compared to your current $20 a month. Now, you might still think, oh, no, I'll save money. Sure. But if you could afford it, you'd probably be thinking, yeah, fuck it. It's like, it's a thing that I use every single day for multiple hours and it's affordable for me. I'll actually take the more expensive one because the value that I get increases. Do you see how it's easy to say like, oh, just make it for free, but it's not going to be a good thing. Stuff that's for free, especially sort of community based, is the equivalent of having like yellow drops of piss on the toilet seat and a little pube right there. That's what a free community looks like. A $20 community looks better than that, but still you could level up from that. This is why charging for something like this, I feel like, is genuinely morally a good thing. I'll never lie to you. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to make money. I'll never lie to you. You probably knew that. It's common sense. You want to make money too. It's not a bad thing. You're not an evil person for this. But alongside my own sort of selfish desire of wanting to make money, just like you have the same desire, I want to make something that's actually really good for you. That's why I charge for this instead of it just being like a free community. That's why I think it's absolutely worth it. So I hope that sort of gym analogy kind of works here. If you're unconvinced, have a look at some of the comments below this video. There'll be a good few comments from the guys who are already inside of the program. And just when you're ready, top link in the description, just give it a try and then we'll see you inside. Goodbye.